Hiya guys, and welcome back to Aid's Workshop. And this, I think we're going to call it an episode of Shed Talk, because it's mostly about bits and bobs that have been going on, bits that have come in and that sort of thing. So we'll start off with a sticker call. I've mentioned this guy before, Kimber Zelic, and he's basically sent me a nice little letter and some of his channel stickers. It's Kimber Zelic on YouTube. He's a new YouTuber, well, fairly new. I think he's just got to his 100 subscriber mark, which is a good milestone. I remember getting 100 myself and how excited I was to get to 100, and it's a while back now, but it's a nice little milestone, so congratulations to Kimber. Kimber basically shows all sorts of bits and bobs that he does with a little Chinese mini lathe, and that's, here we are, Kimber's sticker, the famous moustache. So that's Kimber, so that'll be going on the sticker board behind here very shortly. I've been a bit sort of stuck on this project with the power feed, and it's been a bit long-winded, I think 6 parts, so I'm going to sort of skip through the final little bits, and when it is all done, I will, as I've said before, put the links up to all the bits and pieces that I used. On that note, I've got another stepper motor controller, identical to the first one, and another stepper motor, identical to the first one, have come in, and that's with a view to putting a power feed on the Z. I probably won't show much of that. I might show the machining of the brackets, but the electrical side is going to be virtually identical to the X-axis. A few more bits that came in. I wanted to get some 5mm silver steel. The need for this will come to light very shortly in the video. So yeah, some 5mm silver steel. Again, Zorro, 10 pieces. What are they, 300 or 13 inch? I think they are normally, something like that. They might be a bit longer. 10 pieces for £7.70. So I only needed one, but well, it was something like £2 odd for one, or £7.70 to have 10 of them. So yeah, you can never have too much silver steel, drill rod, 01, whatever you want to call it, around the shop. So yeah, I need a piece for the, basically the travel stop, the little micro switch travel stop that I'm making, but that'll come to light shortly. What else have I got? Let's have a look. There's a few other things. Oh, I must mention, one of my subscribers, I won't mention the name, has sent me DRO head unit. 2-axis DRO head unit, an MDRO one, which is a good quality one. You know who you are, thank you very much. It has arrived, and it's arrived safely, and it's the head unit and the bracketry to mount it. A future project, which I'm not going to reveal, a 2-axis DRO will be ideal. It may go on a little mini lathe that I do, which again is a future project, but I've got something else in mind going forward, but well in the future. So that's that. So again, thank you very much for that indeed. Okay, I won't show that on camera. What else have we got? I bought a few little things, so let me just go and dig one out. Okay, so here's the first thing. A little tray organizer. I've got a spot for it, or I will have when I shuffle a few things around. I'm finding milling cutters, I'm keeping them in toolboxes, I'm keeping them all over the place. As I'm starting to get more bits and pieces together for the milling machine, I'm needing somewhere to sort of store stuff. So little lin bin type things from Lidl's, I think it was about £7. Yeah, I mean, it'll do the job for what I want it for, so that's that. While I was in Lidl's, one more thing, I shall get that. Yeah, the final thing, good old Lidl's. I only went in for a loaf of bread. Came out with this sabre saw. It's 700 watt. It's got a metal blade and a wood blade, Parkside brand. £29, I think. The amount of times where I'm hacksawing off chunks of aluminium and bits and pieces like that with a hacksaw. And, well, you know, am I getting lazy in my old age? But I thought we'll give this a try anyway. So, yeah. That's a little sabre saw, or power saw, as it were. Useful for chopping up bits of metal and chopping bits of bar off and that sort of thing. So, takes a bit of the donkey work out of it and saves my stiff old shoulders. So, we'll get on. I'll show you a bit more milling of the little aluminium block that we were doing, and we'll go from there. And I think we need a bit of a clean up. Break this setup down. I think the next setup's going to be in the vise, blocking up this piece of aluminium. I think it's way too long. I may chop a piece off it again. But yeah, blocking that up is going to be the next job. So a bit of cleaning up to do. Oh, what's the point? Hang on. I don't think I've shown this before. My shop vac. Yeah, my shop vac. HYVI 3014, I think. 30 litre, 1.4 kilowatt vacuum wet and dry facilities. It's got a power socket on the front here, and if you were to plug a power tool into it, something like a planer, something like that, you know, sander with a vacuum extractor, you can connect the hose up to the vacuum extractor, and when you switch the power tool on, if you put the top switch in position 2 and you switch the power tool on, the vac automatically starts up. So not that I do a great deal of carpentry work, but you can have it set so that the when the socket on the front, which is behind this black cover, when it senses a current being drawn, it automatically turns the vacuum on. So you plug your power tool into there, connect up the hose, and it automatically starts the vacuum when you start the power tool. So yeah, handy little feature. It can do wet or dry, as they say. It does use it has got a big sort of industrial filter inside it, so that you can basically fill the 30 litre container with swarf or what have you. But I do use a bag. But I use it for swarf, I use it for all sorts in the shop here. Doesn't matter if there's a bit of WD-40 in the swarf, it's mostly dry with me, but yeah, it's great. So anyway, that said, I purchased it from work. I do have the receipt, all bought and paid for, honest. I had it on a test to do a video on it, like a how-to, put it together, how to use it and what have you. And I liked it that much, I kept it, and then when I went into work next after the old shutdown, I bought it. So as it happens, it's a little bit big, so 3mm cuts, 8mm cutter, and I'm just going to chop off a piece of aluminium off the end to take it to somewhere near the size I want. Yeah, that's 9, that's 12mm deep. That should just flick out of the way, like that. That's that roughed out. Where's my little brush? Where's my little brush? There we are. Yeah, we were really going for that, so the finish is a bit tricky. Let's just see if we can take a skin pass over that. Drop that cutter up a bit. A little bit more cut. No, not quite. That's better. I think we got it now. And very nearly. This should do it. Wiped it over. I haven't got any marking blue or what do they call the stuff? It'll come to me in a moment. Die chem, that's the word, blue die chem. I haven't got any of that, so I'll get the same impact with a permanent marker, just to highlight where I'm going to draw my lines. I got no dimensions in mind, So what I'm going to do is basically put that on there, look at a position where it'll sit. Now I can get a spade terminal on there in a pocket, I can get one on there. So my centre point is going to be about there. So if I just get my calipers, so if I say, oops, that would be about the centre. That actually works out at 25 mil. So that's going to be the centre mark where I replicate the two bolts. Are going to be on that position. And that's pretty much the high point on the switch. My pocket, just to leave enough room for the spades, wants to be sort of there. Yeah, that should do it. So that's the one extremity of my pocket. I think I can do exactly the same at the top. Don't see why that wouldn't work. There's no need for the pocket to go much further than about, leave room for a spring, 7 mil. Yeah. And oh, I think it will do the same here. So I'm going to put a pocket in here now, hollowed out to the depth. Do I want to go the depth of the switch? Can I? I can go a little bit deeper than the depth of the switch, I think. And will that still give me enough? Let's have a look to get those clear. Yeah, I think I'll put the switch about 1 mil below surface. So the overall thickness of the switch, I may solder these wires on here just to save a bit of room. 10. So if I go 11 mil deep with a pocket, we're not going to be far away. So I basically set my cutter on the lines, half what the measurement was. So in X it was 57, so half of that, 28.5. So when I started on a 0, set a 0 on that line, set a 0 on that line, split the difference, set a 0 in the middle. So I know from my point now, which is in the centre of the block, I got to go left and right in this direction, 28.5, and exactly the same, 15.5 the other way. So I'll probably do 28, 28, 15, 15, and then go round the outside after. So come down to a touch, 0 my quill. I could use my feet for this. Just plunging slowly down as I go. As it travels along. That's 1 mil deep. Slot cutter would be the ideal weapon, but I've already got the cutter up now. That's 2 mil deep. Approaching the middle now. So we're down to 10.5 deep. Just taking out the middle bit now. I've been doing it in 3 mil cuts. Been going round the outside, leaving 0.5 mil on. It's 0.5 mil in the bottom. I'm just doing a sort of spiral route now, just to get rid of the centre. finishing touch, just finished off, gone round the outside, and that gives me a little pocket in there. What should be, there we go, let's just come off that wall, there we go, 11mm deep. So that's the little block pocketed out now, with a pocket complete. I have machined all 4 edges around the outside and what have you. I haven't machined the back face, but it's pretty flat stock anyway. So yeah, that's that. So the little micro switch is going to go in that pocket, and the 5mm rod, let me just grab that. So yeah, the 5mm rod is going to go through 2 holes in the top of the pocket here somewhere, so that rod will slide back and forth. And I'm going to put some little brass, probably, rings on here. So as the brass slides back and forth, the ring will hit the switch, and the ring going the other way will hit the switch. A couple of springs either side, so we'll get on and do that. So I just need to work out some dimensions of where we're going to be for these 5mm holes. I'll probably start off with a 5mm reamed hole and, you know, see if I can make it a little on the loose side so this rod just slides back and forth nicely. Little job for work came in this week. Got some hardened copper bar here. It's used for earthing. Basically a large generator, we'll say large. We're talking up to 550 kVA generator. Earthing points. Basically standard sort of procedure for ground rods and earthing would be, you know, through the chassis of the machine. But it's much nicer to have a dedicated earthing point. So basically this gets a couple of holes drilled in it, a couple of 10mm holes, a couple of 12mm holes, and you know, it makes a great earthing point for the generator. So yeah, I've had to machine the ends off, just tidy them up, make them look nice, and a series of holes on specific centers. I think it was 25mm in, then 50, then 50, then 50. So yeah, I had well, I've still got 4 left to do. In fact, I've only got 3 here. I've done the first one as a prototype and everything went well. So yeah, I've got a few more of those to do. So just do a little touch off on this face to get a 0. There. Get a 0 in Y. And the same on the end. Oh, can't see. In the way. There we go. Kicked off. And a 0 in X. Okay. So my distance down from the top had to be 12mm. Add 2 for the centre, so 14mm. I'll lock it off there in X. And my distance in Y was 5.5mm, which is 7.5 on the dial because of the 2mm. 2mm being the radius of the tip there. So that's there. So I can lock off in Y. I could, if I could find the little lock. There we go. So there we are. That's the centre position for the hole that's going to take this rod right down through the block. I can't drill all the way down through. Well, I suppose I could if I had a long enough drill, but I haven't. So I'm going to spot drill it and drill it 5mm. I've had a little experiment, and the hole size, if I drill it 5mm, is just about spot on for the 5mm rod. Nice sort of sliding fit. So that's where I'm going to go with that. So, oops. I don't normally like putting my tools down on the bed of the mill. Let me just wind the head up and get that out. But I've got my protectors on there. I've been meaning to make something up to go on here, which I will get round to. Out with that collar. In with a 5mm collar. Oops. I'm using the drill directly into the collet. because this is stuck up a fair way off the bed. I'm using the collet to put my little drill chuck in. I'm running out of height. So, there we are. Back down again. Leave enough room to get the drill in. I might have to wind up again. So a little spot drill on there. Okay. Oops. Put the tools in the right hand aid. That was a spot drill. You know what, I think the easiest way to do this, easier than winding the head up and down. So whack the drill in the collet. There we go. Before I tighten the collet up. Or pop the collet out, I should say. Come on, in you go. Why can't I get that collet back in? I can. Oh, I've got just enough headroom there so that they're not grabbing on the flutes of the drill in the collet. Just nip that up. I'm not doing any donkey work with this really. A little bit of juice. And there we are, there's the 5mm hole. So I can just pop this out of the vise now. There we go. Make sure we're all clean. I'm going to reference off the same face so I haven't got to change anything in Y. I've just deburred that hole. So I'm going to flick it over 180 degrees now. Clamp it back up. Now pick up off this top edge in exactly the same manner as I just did before. Don't need to move in Y because I'm still located on this front dimension using the back as a backstop. I've changed the collet. So I should be able to just pick it off there. There we are, with a bit of deburring. We've now got the rod fitting through there, so that's tidy. So my plan was that this is going to sit in here somewhere with the rod, and then when the stops come along, which are adjustable, come along, they hit the rod and obviously cut the feet. Problem is, with that right hard back, I'm going to be changing these locks for like a thumb wheel type. But the problem is I can't get to that oiling point there. It's about 3mm interference, so I'm going to take 1.5 mm off each end of the block just to push it back a bit. So I'm just going to fly cutter up. I'm going to take 3 half-mil cuts. Using the power feed. And that'll be 1.5 off that end. So I'm just drilling the 2 holes now to mount it to the existing holes on the table. So I'm not drilling into the mill unnecessarily. So that's a 5.5 drill and 13mm centres, which are the original centres, with a correct offset from the one end of 58.5, as happens to be the case in this instance. So there we are. So put the little counter boring bit up now, ready to take the little counter boring, yes, little counter boring bits ready to take the little M5 screws, the original M5 screws that held it together. So I've gone 5.5 deep. I've already set a 0 using the quill readout. Three, 4, 5.5, back over the 13mm, which is there on my main DRO. I've already cut a little pocket in here with a 10mm cutter. And the wall thickness of the bottom of this is 8mm. So I've got plenty left without going right through. .5. I don't know if I've got a little counterboring bit that I can use, a countersinking bit. I won't be able to get into this one. I think it's going to have to be the Noga. So, brush. There we are. So that's the little 2 mounting points that'll bolt this to the table. There are going to be 2 further holes, very small ones for bolts that hold the little switch in position. Which I'll have to sort out a location for. I think I'm going to shorten this lug here to be able to bring this back more out of the way of these 2 screws. Oh, I think I'll be alright where I am actually. Yeah, I probably will, to try and get myself a bit more equal springing inside. So, yeah, pop it out again now. I think I need to think about finding a position for the switch. So I might leave it where it is and do a little bit of working out what we're going to do. I think I'm going to snip the end of this little tang off. I just cut the end of the little tang off there with a pair of snips. Yeah, just to give me a bit more room. So I've just put up a 3.2 drill, which is just a nice fit in the little hole in the switch. Just bring it back off bottom a bit. So I want to locate the switch where I want to put it. So if I walk the part this way, a little bit too far, a little bit too close. Yeah, that's a good gap between the electrical output on the bottom there and the side wall. And I'll just walk the table in X this way, bring the part over to give myself a good 1.5 mm maybe. There we are, that looks about right. Let's just double check myself. I'm a little bit close here, let me just come out a bit. Again, making it up as I go along. Square it up. Yeah, I'm a little bit close this way as well, so just come back a touch. Square it up again. Okay, so that's going to be my position for this hole. And it's going to be tapped M3 in the bottom of this block. So I'll just set X and Y to 0. Come back, take that out of the way. That was a 3.2. So I think we're going to get a little 3mm spotting drill in there. And then we'll put the tapping drill up for M3. Let me just put that drill bit away. Get a 3mm spotting drill. Have I got a 2mm spotting drill? No, I haven't. Got to remember what I've got, what I haven't got. Throw the spotting drill on the floor. You heard it happen. Right, so that's a spot drill for M3. X and Y are set to 0, yes. See where we are. Have I got enough travel? Just spot that centre. Now let's see if we can work out what we need on this switch. What's the centres? What's the centres? It looks like 22mm. It is. So I want to go this way, 22mm. There, block X. And what's the distance in travel this way? Looks like 10mm to me. So 10mm back towards myself in Y. Which is there. That's the 2 holes spotted for the M3 bolts that are going to hold the switch on. Okay, 2.5 drill. Running at 1500 RPM. I could probably go a bit quicker. Well, not unless I go into the other gear on the belt. Okay, and back to 0. Drill the other one through. So, 0 that way. I'm going to hit the tripod with handle on the end, I believe. Wait for it. Haha. There you go, I hit the tripod. Let's bring you back a spot. Whoop. There we go. So back to 0. Where are we? 0.6, 0.4. There's 0. Just make sure that parallel's not going to hit. No, it's absolutely fine there. I had to tap him out the way to do the previous holes. Okay. I think I'll hand tap these 2 holes, why not? And that's the holes in the part drilled, other than a hole somewhere to let the power cable out when I'm done. It's probably going to be over in this end somewhere, this bottom corner of this end. So I've made up 2 little spacers in brass with a 5mm hole in them, which are going to be grub screwed onto this shaft. They foul on the bottom of the pocket, so I need to take 1mm off the back face. So I actually tried filing a little bit and then realised how much it was. So you can see on this back one here a little flat. I don't know whether you can see it, but I actually haven't put the flat in the right, that I started to file in the right orientation. So let's have a little look. Put them back in the vise. Hold the bar firmly down. Okay. Right, I'll touch off on the one that I haven't filed. I've had the mill unplugged because I've had the lathe plugged in. So we'll just plug that back in. I don't need the DRO for this. I've got the quill readout. Let's just bring this down somewhere near. And down to a touch. I think I'll go 1.1. Oh, bit heavy touch that. There we go. Set a 0 on a quill DRO. We want a 1.1mm flat. 1mm cut to straighten the collar. That's 1mm. And 1.1. I worked out the depth. It needed 1mm off to be size for size. We don't want this brass rubbing on the bottom and binding things up. So whoops, it is. 1.1 should do it. So we'll give that a try. Well, there we are, guys. I've got my little thingamajig. I haven't drilled and tapped the holes to keep the little brass pieces in the right place yet, but that's for the next episode. So we've done a little bit. I'm going to call this episode a close now. We've done enough. I know I'm not putting up enough episodes lately. I'm trying to get one out a fortnight, and that's as much as I can do. I mentioned to a few people who have asked, why aren't you putting out as many? I've got a new, well, not a new job, same company, a new role, and I've sort of moved sideways from what I was doing. I was workshop manager in the job I was doing, and I'm now quality manager, as a round sort of what's it as to how to describe it. So yeah, it's a lot of work. I got a lot to do, and I haven't got so much home time. And when I do get home from work, I'm absolutely cream crackered or knackered or very tired. So that is the be all and end all of why I haven't put so many up lately. Okay, so yeah, I'm still having fun doing what I'm doing in the workshop. It's great. I'm having a lot of humidity problems at the moment. I'm starting to put stuff in plastic bags. Let me show you an example on the lathe. So as you can see, I've covered the chuck plastic bag. It's oiled up. It's in a plastic bag. The whole tool post area is in the plastic bag. The bed is totally lathered in oil. Up on the shelves, you can see all my tooling, my compound, not compound slide, well, my compound slide is up there, the 4-drawer chuck, all sorts of stuff. They're coated in oil and in plastic bags, and it is saving. And you can see up there I've got this dehumidifying thing. Now it's like a bag of silica gel or what have you. That's helping, but it's not doing the full job. I am buying, or in the process of buying, a dehumidifier for the shed. That'll be on for a couple of hours a day. And yeah, you know, little steps forward. So as you can see, Kimber's sticker is on the sticker board. Message from my daughter. And yes, it wasn't in dry wipe. Love you, Dad. Well, I love you too, Emma. And a bit of petrol needed to get that off. But yeah, I quite like it. So we're going to bring this one to a close, guys. On a good note, about maybe a fortnight ago, we got to a milestone on my YouTube channel in which, YouTube analytics, you can look back over the lifetime of the channel and see how many views you've got, you know, this week, the last month, or over the lifetime. And we've passed 1 million views on A's Workshop YouTube channel. So a huge thank you to you all. It's difficult to sort of get my head around where 1 million views is. It's a huge number, and I really don't understand why people want to watch. I mean, I'm a niche market, whereas there are, you know, people that want to look at milling machines, want to look at lathes and what have you. But that 1 million is, it's quite something, and I can only thank you. From, you know, it's a heartfelt thank you. In fact, a heart is this side. Yes, that's the one. A heartfelt thank you to you all for your support and for watching over these last probably 2.5 years. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to all you new subscribers, and we'll see you all very soon. And I mean it this time. I will be back very soon. Cheers now.